Alright guys, let's talk about Berachain or BERA on the channel for the first time since this candlestick right here on August the 23rd. And what has happened really since then? Well, basically it still makes higher lows, and today it's powering through the $2.51 resistance on a weekly time frame. Now, keep in mind we're looking at this on a daily time frame at the moment. We do need to seal a weekly candle above this point, of course, but the longer the time frame, the candle, the better. Now, if we get above about $2.89, that's this resistance here, guys, basically this would put us in a position that we really haven't traded since May. So we haven't traded that high, and that would be a very good thing. Now, if we zoom out a little bit more, I think the point we can really get, bullish on BERA would probably be about $5.20. That would be this line right here, because that basically puts us, in like, this is the upper trading, I would say, up here, guys. This is the upper half. Now, if we can get out of this lower half down here, I think we can start to get bullish. Now, one more thing I do want to point out that I have recognized is that this is also maybe potentially a cup and handle. So you can see this is just a long, cup. And then we need to draw the handle. So basically, if we see something like this, guys, and then boom, that would be a cup and handle. Now, this is not a perfect drawing, of course. This is just to show you what's probably going to happen. If it is to happen, now it doesn't mean it's going to happen, but if it is to happen, this is what it would look like. Now, a good example of that would be if you take a look at Tron or TRX. It is actually a much longer time frame, though, that this cup and handle formed. So yeah, do try to find that. If you do look at the chart of Tron, guys, it's actually a very good example of this. Now, when it comes to the volume profile here, there isn't much history with BERA. Now, we are above the point of control at about $2.11. So we're sitting about, 50 cents above that at the moment. If we can get above about, let's say, $3.25, that would get us through this entire volume candlestick here. And then basically you just kind of stair step your way up here. Jumping over to the Bollinger Bands on a weekly time frame, there isn't much history here, but guys, look at this. We last saw this when back here, I think it was, there wasn't really a pinch. Now, we can see that this blue line is coming down here pretty heavily, and this blue line is coming up pretty heavily. So basically, this is starting to pinch. This is getting a little bit interesting. I do expect there could be a little bit more of a pop here with BERA due to this. Now let's look at this on a daily time frame. On the daily time frame, it did get a little bit of narrowness a couple of days ago or a few days ago, guys, but basically it pretty much looks like an intestine, except for back here, back in beginning of July, you do have some narrowness here. It did get a little bit of a pop, but basically since then it just kind of looks like an intestine. So it just a little bit narrows a few days ago, but I wouldn't say that it's pinching really on a daily time frame. But the weekly time frame does look interesting to me, and if this comes in a little bit more tighter, it's a larger time frame, and I do think it will lead into a bigger pop than, for example, on a daily time frame. Now, the RSI and stochastic here on the daily time frame, the RSI is pointed up pretty heavily. Stochastic is actually pointed down. The blue line just crossed a couple of days ago, this red line, but it does look like this blue line wants to start curving back up. So it's probably going to look something like this, a little bit of a fake out and then back up. So yeah, that's what I'm anticipating myself. Now, the 4-hour time frame is pointed up pretty heavily on both the RSI and stochastic, so it looks good. 1-hour time frame, little bit overheated here. Now, this blue line has just crossed the red line to the upside. It can still run up a little bit more, of course, but yeah, it is just really slightly overheated. Now, RSI is pointed pretty heavily to the upside here, so that's pretty good. But the 15-minute time frame just got out of being overheated here on the RSI. And it looks like stochastic is about to start curving back down. So again, it is overheated as well. So if I just take all this information, guys, let's just put this on a 4-hour time frame and see what's going on. I don't expect we would get above $2.89, of course, without anything really pushing us, without Ethereum pumping or Bitcoin pumping. Yeah, really need some news, basically, to get it above this $2.89 hump. Before, it probably needs like a cool down, I would say, for it to do that. So I don't think it's going to just explode above $2.90 tonight. Yeah, it's probably going to have to reset some of those indicators. And, we need to see some momentum with Bitcoin and Ethereum and things like this, guys. As there's not much information on a weekly time frame, we're just going to look at the daily time frame on the MACD. Now, you can see that the blue line is pointed to the upside here. We are in this green period at the moment. We do have a dark green candle. Also, we've just gotten out of this red period. So, yeah, I mean, momentum actually appears to be to the upside for BERA here. Now, before I go a little farther in this video, guys, you can claim some bonuses on my favorite crypto exchanges below. I have partnerships with Bybit, Bitget, MEXC, BingX, Bitrue, BTC.D, WEX, and CoinEx. You can also find MoodX here, guys. There's a free 7-day trial, so test it, try it out. It's very good. Now, I have today just made a partnership with the world's safest cold wallet, CipherRock. So you can get a 17% discount if you purchase with my link. So check that out, and you can follow me on X here. Now, BERA is the number 249 project. It's up about 9% today. It's not major, guys, but it's one of the few things that's just going up, and most things are headed down, unfortunately, today still. Now, if we look at this, there's a max supply that is infinite. That's one thing that I just don't like about this, but it's not the end of the world. I mean, look at the circulating supply, only 126 million tokens or coins, and the total supply is still pretty low. Only 508 million tokens or coins have been created. And if we go to the all-time high, it was about, $14.83 here, almost $15. So you're getting about an 82% discount at the moment. So that was 8 months ago. I believe that was probably when it first came out, actually. Because this was, I believe, a launch pool project, or it could have been a hodler airdrop from Binance. It doesn't really matter which. But yeah, this probably has bottomed, guys. I usually tell people you need at least 6 to 8 months in most cases when it comes to these new coins to bottom. So has this bottomed? Probably yes, and it was probably 3 months ago. You could have picked it up at $1.51, and you would already be up 73%. Now, there is some recent news here. I do encourage people to check out CoinGecko here. They do have a lot of news recently, especially since our last video on Berachain. So check this out. It's not a dead project, and that's a good thing. But of course, I don't have this project. I can't get every project in my portfolio, but I don't think this is really a bad project, actually. Now, unfortunately, Bitcoin is still taking a dump, and really it's taken that dump in the last few hours here. We have lost the 112,450 mark at the moment. There's still a few more hours in the trading day, though, guys, so it's not completely over just yet. Of course, this could just end up being a giant wick, and that's happened before. I've said, this in the past where, I've just kind of given up hope on the day, and then I wake up next day and we have a green candle. So never know what can happen, but more than likely we're probably going to lose this level, I would say. Ethereum, on the other hand, is also having a red day, but we're getting support at 41.32. So let's see if we can hold on to this. We're only about $10 above that right now, and we're almost back to the point where if we look back in Ethereum's history, let's just put this on a weekly time frame, you can see that box, guys, and this is generally where Ethereum tends to fail. But we have actually pushed through this, and we've gotten higher than even over here. So I in my opinion, I don't think Ethereum is done, and I've never been a big Ethereum fan throughout this bull run. So, for me to say that, that's really, it takes a lot. But I do think Ethereum will go up a bit more. I do think it will probably reach the top of this Fibonacci here. So you're talking about between maybe $6,000 to $7,000. And that's where I think this is going to finish. But just squeaking out a new all-time high for Ethereum, I just don't think that, that's going to happen. I just think it's going to go a little bit further. But, not too much further. A lot of people are saying 8, 10, 12,000. I would be cautious. I would say 6 to 7 would probably be a max. Total market cap here, we are hanging on to 3.8 trillion, just barely, guys. But, we've taken a little bit of a dump today. Not too bad, though. And 3.8 trillion, we're still up there, guys. Now, if we take a look at the total market cap, it is also not too bad in my opinion, but it did get rejected here at 1.62 trillion earlier today. But basically, it's a small red candle. Now, if we go to the Bitcoin dominance, this is one of my favorite charts. It actually has a red candle today so far, so that's a good sign, but it's just a really slight red candle, and fortunately it did get rejected here at 58.61%. Now, USDT dominance, guys, unfortunately people are taking their money out of crypto and they're putting it into USDT, but we need them to spend this USDT, guys. So if people are spending their money, that means the prices are going up. Now, the altcoin season index still sitting at a 69 from this morning. That's exactly where it was during my mantle video, so check that video out if you haven't already. Liquidation heat map sitting at about 270 million that have been wrecked in the last 24 hours, which is pretty tame in my opinion, considering we did have a lot of volatility today and we saw a lot of downside. Now, fear and greed 43, next update in about 3.5 hours. We have cooled a little bit since yesterday. I would actually expect us to go down maybe a little bit more or possibly just stay the same. Now, the bull market peak indicators, nothing is hit at the moment because the altcoin season index is a 69 and not above 75. And, Pi cycle top indicator, still 57.66% progress. Now, most of these indicators, guys, are well below 90%. Now, there are a few like here that are close to 90%, but they really haven't budged much. I haven't seen anything touch 90 yet, really, except for the altcoin season index. Now, here's another one, 87, here's 82, but most of these indicators are about 60 and below. So, the Pi cycle top indicator, this is what this looks like, and yeah, this is what almost 60% progress looks like. I don't know how they measure that progress, but yeah, it still looks like it's almost running parallel. Tomorrow's economic calendar, pretty dry. There's really nothing to pump or dump Bitcoin tomorrow. Maybe just this FOMC member speaking tomorrow. Maybe they'll say something that could pump or dump the markets, but probably not. Now, if we look at Moodyx today, sentiment is still risk on. The trend is growing, but we did have a pretty negative day today, and the week is now turning negative, unfortunately. If we look at the FedWatch tools, this has actually gone up, so it's a 94% chance that we're going to get a quarter point cut now. But if we look at Polymarket, it does differ quite a bit now. So 83% only believe we're going to get that quarter point cut, 13% believe no change, and actually 1% here believe in an increase, which is insane. But yeah, 4% believe there's going to be a 50 basis point decrease. So we'll see, guys. There's still plenty of time. Now, Trueflation shows a little bit less inflation than this morning's video, so that's good to see, actually. Crypto bubbles, it's green, at least on the day. Hour and week, though, is red, unfortunately. But yeah, MNT, guys, like I said, I made a video on that this morning, and it's one of the leaders today. So it's a very strong coin lately. And I know everybody's attention is on Aster and OG here. But guys, you're sleeping on MNT, unfortunately. So anyways, CoinNando has actually updated their website, and it's maybe a little better than it was before. So if you want to check out Berachain staking, they do have 11 results on the website here right now. Bioeconomy actually does give you 90%, guys. So check out Bikonomy. And yeah, if you do like this video, guys, like, subscribe, activate the bell, use those links down below, guys, please. I'm only getting pennies though usually when you're trading with my links, unless you're like a mega millionaire. Anyways, guys, I really appreciate it, and guys, I will see you in the next video.